this was one of the times that did not help anybody. So,
No.
and you trade like a real life fisherman killer in for like this paranormal.
They go like
they try to turn him into this,
like Candyman type character.
Well, it's like anytime you do something bad and you need vengeance. It's more like a
Pumpkinhead, yeah, not Candyman.
Anyway, coming in at number 105 from 1984, Children of the Corn.
The Cone.
The Corn.
The Cone. I love corn.
The Corn.
The Cone.
Yes.
Great. Would you call it a slasher?
Yeah, it's kind of a slasher film.
Kind of a slasher.
It's children killing all the adults, man. And Linda Hamilton, who would go on later that year. I don't know which one she made first because both of those movies came out in '84. I don't know if she made Terminator or Children. I think she made Children first and then Terminator. Can't remember. Anywho, the first Children of the Corn movie is creepy as fuck. The way it's shot, it kind of has like that Grindhouse chainsaw.
I was about to say it has that like chainsaw like shot vibe.
Yeah,
like that dusk kind of midday dirtiness to it.
Yeah, and then like the kid, that's kind of like the leader of the rebellious kids. He's not really like he looks more like a small midget. Honestly, he's not really he doesn't strike me as a 13-year-old. He strikes me as a 28-year-old midget.
I mean, I can get
who walks behind the rose.
Fucking idiot.
And then you got old fucking Ginger Billy over there killing everybody.
Yeah, looking like a fucked up Chucky.
Yeah. Which he went on to play in The Burbs, which is one of my favorite Tom Hanks movie. But anywho,
great kills in that movie.
Yeah. Definitely one of the best early adaptations of a Stephen King film.
I was about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. That would definitely be up there in the top Stephen King adaptation list.
Coming in at number 104 from 1988, you are invited to Angela's party for Night of the Demons.
I love this movie. The fucking practical effects and especially like the fucking God.
The way she fucking talks is
yes.
I can't even do it. It's knowing it's a woman but talking like a demon, and the look of it, man,
is terrifying.
Yeah. I can't even fucking do it. And then everybody else turning into demons. I like the film. It's almost kind of like an Evil Dead vibe where somebody gets killed, but they're not really killed. They just come back as a demon.
Yeah.
So, it
has like that Deadite like vibe to it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you want to know something else? You want to know? I enjoy every Night of the Demons movie, 2, 3, and that remake with who played it? Edward Furlong played in it.
Oh yeah,
like I think it was a Sci-Fi Channel original or something, but it was good.
It was great.
Like to me, it's kind of like the Critters. Like there's not really a bad one. They're all kind of goofy, entertaining.
Yeah, even the last one.
The first one definitely catches your eye. It has all of the elements. The Halloween night, let's conjure up demons. Oh, this is an old spooky house. We're not supposed to be here. Oh, here's the cheerleader. Here's the dumbass. Here's the black
jock
guy. Here's the nerd. Here's the whore. It's great. It's like, oh, we have a movie here.
Yeah, it's definitely like it. You really hit the nail on the head when you compared it to Evil Dead. Like, if you called this, like, Evil Dead, Night of the Demons, like, it would fit directly in with Evil Dead universe.
Oh, definitely.
Like, all it's missing is the Necronomicon.
You watch your mouth.
You wash your mouth.
Coming in at 103, here's a movie that a lot of people overlook, and it's called Slaughterhouse.
Woo!
Slaughterhouse is about this old guy who runs a slaughterhouse, and he has like a 300-pound, 6'2" son who is retarded.
Very retarded.
But he carries around a big fucking knife and meat hook. Not a meat hook.
No.
God, what do you call those? They're square and they're sharp on one side.
Pickaxe?
No.
No.
It's not a pickaxe. It is a, they make little ones and it's square, but you hold it, it's sharp. They cut fish and shit with it.
That.
Yeah.
Meat cleaver.
Meat cleaver! That's what it's called. It's called a goddamn meat cleaver, except this one is like on a long handle. It's like an axe, but instead of having an axe handle, you have the meat cleaver at the end, and it's long like that was his. Anyway, these teenagers. Well, first of all, they start. These people from the city, they want to come and close down his plant, and they want his land and all that.
Yeah.
So that's where they get the idea of killing these people. But then on Halloween night, these kids come around and fuck around, so they have to kill them too. So it's a slasher film. It gets overlooked. They actually thought this was going to be a huge fucking movie. So they went out and they promoted this movie. There was publicity shots in New York City, all kinds of shit about God, what did they call the killer? It won't Bubba. That would have been too obviously a ripoff of Leatherface. Jed? No. I can't remember his name, but he snorted. He was a complete Leatherface ripoff. He snorted like a pig.
Yeah.
I mean,
fucking weird. It's like Hillbilly Jim meets Friday the 13th.
But fun fucking slasher film, no doubt about it.
It really was.
And I believe
was pleasantly surprised with this movie.
I believe this film came out in 87 or 88. I didn't write down the year for some reason. I think it was 87 or 88.
Yeah.
But
you could tell it's a product of the 80s. It definitely has that Friday the 13th vibe and look to it.
Yeah.
It's a Hillbilly Jim with a fucking meat cleaver. I mean,
that's it.
That's all you need. Great gore, great practical effects. I mean, it's not breaking any molds or anything, but it's a good fucking flick.
Yeah, it's a good time. Number 102 from 1982, and unfortunately, this is probably my favorite anthology film, and it's Creepshow.
Yeah, Creepshow is fucking amazing.
Well, basically, you have a joint production of the writing and the acting of Stephen King and the directing of George A. Romero put together into 3 or 4 little short stories that make up one. You got the Roach story, you got the comet that came down, which Stephen King played in, and you have the birthday cake, and you have the Monster in the Box.
Monster in the Box.
I think the Monster in the Box is my favorite one.
Yeah, the Monster in the Box is my favorite one.
And then, your birthday, the birthday party one is kind of like your classic,
That's the picture I see the most from that movie.
Yeah. Well, that one is associated more with George A. Romero. I mean, it's kind of like a throwback to, hey, I do all the Dead movies. I got to have at least one segment in here about a zombie.
Yeah.
And then the cockroaches is too real. It's too creepy.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like if you take somebody from 2020 who wears masks and gloves and all that shit and is worried about the corona
very germophobic.
Germophobic, yeah, that one. And the other one, which is what did I say? I went over the birthday.
You're at Stephen King one.
Oh yeah, the Stephen King where the comet falls and then the grass or whatever, the green shit starts.
Yeah, the moss.
Yeah, starts growing all over him. That's more of a throwback to the old 50s, like sci-fi type of deal. So you got a little bit of everything.
Which
in
is
this.
funny, seeing Stephen King play like this hillbilly, like
Yeah.
character.
Wait a minute. Isn't there one more story? Yeah, isn't it the what's his name? Where he buried the two under the water, and then they came back and got him. Leslie Nielsen.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. Maybe one of those stories were a substitute for that one, and it's on. And one of those was on Creepshow too.
Yeah.
I can't remember. The only thing the two that I really remember from Creepshow 2 is the Indian coming to life.
Oh yeah.
And the
really
blob
like that
thing in the lake.
Oh yeah, the blob thing. I like the Indian. The Indian one's probably my favorite.
But anyway, Creepshow is awesome. Anyway, ending this first episode, coming in at 1982 at number
80.
At number 101, Madman.
Madman
Malls. Yes, if you hear that song, hear that theme song, you get it stuck in your fucking head. First, you're going to hear it and say, "God damn, this is awful," and then you'll be singing it for the next 3 hours, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, it's so horrible. Let me look it up on YouTube." And Madman is exactly what you think. It's a it's a campfire like camp where a bunch of young adults are gathered around doing the camp thing, and Madman Mars doesn't like it because they're too close to his territory. So he comes for him. Madman Mars is like this old 6'8", 300-pound. He kind of looks like the Sasquatch off of Jack Link's beef jerky. Like in the face, he kind of looks like it.
A little bit, yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, they sit around the campfire and they tell Madman Mars stories, and they think they're just stories, but they're real.
It's definitely original.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's Friday the 13th with a different character. All campfire fucking things after 1980 is Friday the 13th with a different character.
When I say it's original, I mean it's not breaking the mold. Yes, you're right. It's Friday the 13th, but it is like original to the point where it's so fucking campy and over the top. It makes it different. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
I mean, it was honestly, at the time, like, I own it on Blu-ray, and I looked up because it was like, I got like the first edition when it came on Blu-ray, and it was like $20-some. Now you can get it for like $9.99 because there's so many other copies. But for a long time, that film was very hard because, on the contrary to popular belief, some VHS tapes were very, very hard to come by in the 80s and in the 90s. If it wasn't for Blu-ray and DVDs and stuff like that, we never would have the producer's cut of Halloween 6.
True.
And stuff like that. So people were spending $40, $50 on homemade producer's cut that you can hardly see because it's black, just to have it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching like the Halloween cut, and it was like this holy grail you had to fucking find, like through a friend of a friend that knew a friend that dabbled in the arts of the black market.
Yeah, and basically for a long time that's what Madman was, because when I really started getting into, I've always known that horror movies were my thing, but when social media and Wikipedia and YouTube and all those was really coming into its own, to where you could learn about a lot more shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, let me look up the 100 greatest slashers and titles that I don't recognize.